Good evening to you all. I will commence my lecture about engineering practices for the forthcoming PRB paper. My name is Engineer Sarath P. Vikram Surya, and I am a graduate from University of Moratuwa and senior engineer. Have practiced the telecom industry over 40 years, and I am a chartered engineer and international professional engineer, and senior member of IEEE as well. Right. Now, this is the executive summary for the presentation. And what is engineering and who is chartered engineer? And what is the difference between engineer versus scientist? And roles, responsibilities, and functions of a chartered engineer? And what are the skills, knowledge, and competencies required to be a professional engineer? And what should be the codes of conduct for a chartered engineer? Now, we don't know exactly the dates when the engineering profession begin. Engineering profession has been in existence for many centuries, but without having a formal training and the formal education. But actually 20th century, and there were a lot of novelties in the engineering profession. Lot of novelties. Right. Now, engineering profession, now there may be many definitions. Now, similar to other professions, there is engineers also should deliver the service or product for the benefit of mankind and living kind. Now, other professions also, when you mean the profession, word profession, you have to use your knowledge. You will have to use your skills. You have to use your competencies. Finally, you will have to deliver the outcome for the benefit of mankind of living kind. Right. Now, before I move into next slide, I want a little bit emphasize on engineer versus scientist. Now, I shouldn't this definition you can go through. The scientist discovers the theories to explain the existing phenomena in our environment. Means certain phenomena, they are in existence in our environment. So what scientist they do, they discover the theories to explain those phenomena. Now we know, you all are know, were taught in the physics floating principle. That is even actually that this was found by Archimedes accidentally, right? Accidentally it was found. But that phenomena existed even before Archimedes was born. He realized that the volume of water spilled over from his bathtub is equal to the volume of the solid. It means his body. So he explained this mathematically using a model. Mathematically using a model. Right? That is Archimedes' principle. But it was used by many engineers uh, in the years since Archimedes found it as solutions. How a ship is sailing in the river or in a sea. So therefore, engineers use application for solving the problem of living beings. Actually, they are solution providers. Engineers, they provide solutions. Finally, who are the beneficiaries? The society. Now you can see the difference between engineer and scientist. Now, society versus engineer. Now everyone knows that we generally living together in community. As a group, as a team, or as a community. The correct word is a community. Community is larger than a team and a group. Community consists of many people having diverse cultures, diverse desires, and demanding for various services. Right? Now they expect from engineers uh, services for the safety and security, following standards, maintaining the economy. Right? Now, we know we have come to this stage after passing many ages. After passing many ages. From Bronze Age to Stone Age to this. Now people were living in the trees or caves in the not the few centuries ago. Right? Now, they have realized that they need a shelter. They need basically food. They need water. Then they need shelter. They want to exchange the goods. They want to communicate each other. Right? Now in the shelter, the people who lived started to live in ages where the cave is a popular choice, was a popular choice. Now they have started building super luxury houses, which means construction, structural, civil engineering, environmental engineering, etc., to have a shelter. Now, people want electricity as a basic need. They need uninterrupted uninterrupted electricity, right? And now the people cannot live without a smartphone, without spending even without spending at least 5 minutes per hour without surfing the net. It's very difficult. Therefore, now, who has provided these services? Thanks to engineers. Thanks to engineers. Now, I am now telling this slide, everyone cannot become an engineer. Good that you have an ambition to become an engineer. But you need certain competencies. The word competencies is a little bit complex to understand. But I can say these skills, knowledge, and experience, if you blend together, that is called the competence. Right? Skill, knowledge, and experience, sometimes attitudes as well. Right? So, competencies and skills are totally different. But they are English language. Those are synonyms. Right? Non-engineers can use this word, or non-executives, they use it sometimes. In place of skills, they use competency. Competency is, the word comes in a more broader sense. Whereas in skills is a narrower sense. For example, now look at a electrician or mason technician or plumbing technician. They are highly skilled for tiling, highly skilled for plumbing, highly skilled for drawing wires. They have very good skill. They have exceptionally good skill. But it look a very narrow sense. Because they have been technicians for a longer period, because they have certain competencies, but we can say they are the skilled people in electrical wiring. But when it comes to competencies, you need both soft skills as hard skills. You have to understand about the job. And you have to you have the ability to do the job. And you must have a right attitude to complete the job. And you must be able to manage the job until it finishes. So those are now above skills. You need a lot of competencies which cannot be quantified. So qualitative. Now, therefore, most engineers, they look at the problem in the broader sense and broader sense with deep knowledge. So not a narrower sense. They have to look at the problem, how the cost is involved, what safety measures we have to take. And they are very much concerned about the productivity rather than efficiency. So engineers, when we talk of the engineers to evaluate an engineer, do the assessment for an engineer, you have to assess competencies, not only his knowledge and skills. Not only his knowledge and skills. Right? Now look at the first competencies required. Can you kindly rename that is one joint name 24958 and another one joint for the iPhone? Better to rename it. Then I know that who are the participants. Thank you. Today may be a miscommunication, but most of the people not joined, but therefore I am recording this one even with 2 participants. Now, to become a chartered engineer, we test 5 competencies. Number 1, knowledge and understanding engineering principles. Knowledge and understanding of engineering principles. This is provided through a 4-year degree program. This is provided through a degree program. Now, because now 4-year engineering degree program nowadays, if it is a recognized or accredited under Washington Accord or recognized by ISL or accredited under Washington Accord, that is 130 credit, 4 years, including intern for 6 months, and finally a project. And it has 8 semesters, right? And well structured, and it delivered through modules. The one module output is given to another input to the another module. So basically, you will get this one after following a 4-year degree program, which is recognized by ISL or which is accredited under Washington Accord. Now, the second one, that is various definitions are given, but here it is how the systems, services, and products are designed and developed complying with safety and the other legal requirements. and at a cost, at a reasonable cost, without wasting the resources of the planet. Look at the statement I recited. Design and development of processes, systems, services and products, complying with safety and other other standards, legal requirements, etc. At a reasonable cost, without wasting resources of the planet. Right? Resources of the planet. Now, you can see that is that definition is very important. How do you achieve this competence? This competency you cannot achieve just following a degree. Just following a degree, you cannot achieve it. Why is it? This needs certain industrial exposure. Then you may ask how a beginner can get this exposure. That is why we request most of the employers to employ a junior engineer under a chartered engineer administratively. Because when you work chartered engineer, you can learn how systems, how devices, how services are designed, how the processes are established, what are the safety standards he should follow, what are the regulations we must adhere to, and how we can manage the cost of operation, etc. So, you need a training at least 24 months to gain this competency. Plus, you need another responsible experience after that. That is how it goes to responsibility management or leadership. Now, you cannot bear a responsibility unless you hold it. You cannot get the management competency unless you manage it. You cannot become a good leader unless you lead it. Therefore, another 24 months, you may require to carry a responsible task and a managerial level to manage the affairs that is not limited to only engineering. So, these second period as 24 months are very important because still you are under a chartered engineer. his experience of your superior, you can get. So another one is that same period you can understand how you should develop your communication and interpersonal skills. Kindly note that communication here means how effectively you can communicate verbally and written communication, verbal and written, in both languages. But it doesn't mean that you should be an expert, have the high literacy skills or the Shakespeare language to communicate it. But you need certain fluency in it means good command of English, that skill you have to develop. Language skill, right? How to write a technical report, how to address the audience, how to conduct a meeting, how to prepare a presentation, effective presentation, how to write a evaluation report, how to engage in the society with the non-engineering community. Last, professional commitment or professional conduct. Professional commitment or professional conduct. That means your conduct for community. Whether you are going to train your staff, how you engage in, how do you engage in society through ISL, etc., or other IEEE, etc. And how do you groom your technical officers? How do you follow the ethics? All comes under this professional commitment. Now, the role of engineer is a very broader. Right? So here, apply reasoning informed by contextual knowledge to assess societal, health, safety, legal, and cultural issues. Here to solve complex engineering problems. Right? Is a role of an engineer. It's very broad. You shall deal with complex engineering issues and the problems. And you must, how do you take the task in a responsible manner? Considering the safety, legal, and cultural. So in here, the word cultural is also very important. Why is it so important? It is when you deliver certain products and goods to the people who live in society, You have to understand their culture. Because culture is a part and parcel of the behavior of the, is a part and parcel and is a belief of the people in the community. If the community is perceived that your service or product will destroy their culture or their religious belief or their traditions, they may apply resistance. That is why you have a good convenience. You should not be go and offended. You should not be at the defensive. You should be able to convince sometimes. Right? Now, in here, role, responsibilities, and functions of an engineer, it is in explained in the more detailed forms. Now, engineering profession should place priority on public safety and interest. Public safety and interest for the others. You cannot ignore it. You cannot compromise it. Right. And accountable for the conduct for the well-being of the others and impact of their work in the society. Impact of the work in the society. Any engineer requires to make a determined effort in development, design, development, deployment, and all possible outcomes. Now, I can here tell you about the what are the social responsibilities for any engineer. Well, to ensure the safety and well-being of the public. Ensure that society funds and resources are not wasted. Right? And speaking out publicly against proposed project, which is detrimental. The blowing the whistle in illegal or wrongdoing. Right? Those are things you can go through with that. And here, refusing to work on a particular project or for a particular company. You can refuse it sometimes. If there is a conflict of interest, here you will add something is a conflict of interest. Speaking out of publicly against a proposed project if it is illegal. Right? Those are the things. Now, commitment of risk assessment experts to ethical risk and safety assessment. You will have to do the risk assessment. What kind of ethical risk and safety? One. And I will not, I am going to one by one. In engineering design, last bullet, have practices social responsibility by apply actors of safety to their design and building in redundancy. If you build a small bridge, compromising safety, you can come and tell easily, I have completed my project in time. But if it is a danger for the motorcyclist, sometime at the end, and it is maybe some bumper, maybe some other due to bad design. Somebody can say only few motorcyclists can. This is not for the motorcyclist, but for the normal road users, others. So you can assume that no motorcyclists are going. You can assume in a highway, but in other places you can't. If you are a telecom guy, if you are going to build a tower in an area, sometimes villages may come and protest. That is after the tower, there will be lightning damages, many lightning damages. Can you ignore it? No. There were certain instances we have experienced that because of the construction of certain towers, there is lightning, there is a vulnerability in getting lightning frequent. But you can apply some techniques, grounding techniques to avoid it. But you have not done it. You said, if I do it, then my cost will be jacked up. But can you or your employer ignore the safety or compromise the safety? Never. Never. You can't do that. Now, I will skip this slide. Rules of conduct. Now, sometimes these bylaws have been established by most of professional bodies like ISL and IET. If you read this carefully, an engineer shall at all the times uphold the dignity and reputation of their profession. Act with fairness, integrity towards everyone with whom their work is connected, and towards other members, and safeguard public interest in matters of health, safety, the environment, and otherwise. The values integrity, fairness, health, safety, and risk and environmental sustainability. Those are the rules of conduct. You can be punished by the particular institution if you violate these rules. It should be fairness. When you evaluate a tender, if you give undue advantage for a particular tenderer, supplier, is not fair. And integrity. Integrity is connected with every profession. Sometimes if you engage with any misappropriation act, as an engineer, whole society will look at the question about the integrity of the profession. Not only you, it adversely affects the whole engineering community. And therefore, you shall act upon fair play and public interest, health, safety, and the environment. You know, still, have you ever read the news articles. The recent case of Sultan barrier in the Nillalaga. Still farmers or farming community, they are raised their concerns, they criticize engineering design and engineers. But there are two sides of the story. As far as I know, engineers did their level best. But unfortunately, there is a communication gap between these communities. You know, the problem is Sultan barrier is used to prevent salt is coming to upstream from the sea when there is a drought. Therefore, you will have to put a Sultan barrier. Otherwise, the drinking water, the people will get the drinking water with salt. You cannot drink. But what that is good that you have to put a barrier. But in a monsoon seasons, where you can experience highest rainfall, the farmers they complain that the flooding is mainly due to this barrier. Now, actually, because of the Sultan barrier, the benefits were there for people because you can drink water without salt. But again, other side of the story is in the farming side, see the monsoon season, it is heavily affected to the farmers again because actually their cultivation is destroyed due to flooding. So this is the issue. So that question is open now. I cannot blame all the engineers because other policy decisions have not taken properly well in advance. Right. Another rule of conduct. Person in any category of engineers, maybe a civil engineer, electrical engineer, telecommunication engineer, environmental engineer, mechanical engineer, biomedical engineer, etc. Persons in any category of engineers, their professional skills and judgments, the best of their best ability, and discharge their professional responsibilities with integrity. They shall encourage the vocational progress of those in their professional charge, integrity and competence. Now, what kind of role engineers are playing? Those are generic roles for any specialization. These are generic. So general, sorry. It means even a mechanical engineer, they must team lead. That you must be a team leader, a good team leader. You must be able to manage, not only manage, you must be able to lead the team. Leader is a philosophical concept. Manager is a defined concept. Because every manager cannot become a leader. Normally, leaders are good motivators. They motivate their staff who are going to report to you. And they will take the responsibility and accountability. And team leader must be a role model to follow. When you define the role model, I am here telling the role model is some thieves also can be a role model for their followers. I am going to hear the good spirit. So good team leaders, they are very punctual. They manage their time well. They got good listeners. They are very firm, but be flexible in certain circumstances. They are good motivators. They don't use their administrative authority unless it is required. They don't order the people, only thing they request the people to do something. Certain situation you have to come there and not get the order. Those are the good leaders. But you need certain managerial skills as well. This is very formal and team leader is very, manager is a formal in sense. Leader is a informal sense. An engineer should be a representative for all who are working under him. So I explained the motivator. And he must be a very good planner. And here, sorry, the word is a spelling mistakes. He's a very good decision maker. He sometimes take the decisions, but takes risk. He's a risk taker. He should become a risk taker, but calculated risk. Calculated risk. And he is to oblige. He normally they oblige to the rules and regulations, ethics, and other norms and the standard practices. Normally, good leader, they don't break the rules, even to please your follower. That is you have to understand. Now, categories of duties. Now I told the role and responsibility. Now I am giving the what categories of your duty? Network planning and design. You can say planning and design. Electrical and electronic people, you can have the network planning. Sometimes the construction planning, etc. Design planning, project planning and implementation, operation and maintenance, research and development, etc. Those are the categories, but you can have a lot of categories nowadays. There's a no clear definition or no, sorry, the categories we can't define as it is. Now, next one. What are the key job function of any engineer? He may be electrical planning engineer. He may be a telecommunication or operation engineer. He may be a construction engineer. But you have a general job functions. The financial planning is a key. Financial planning is a key. Because you must have a proper financial plan. And you must comply with the corporate goals. Normally, engineer is either employed or is an owner. The most engineers are employed. You are paid by a particular employer. So, that is the employer has undertaken certain projects or employer has to provide certain services to the society. That particular employer who owns a company has certain corporate goals. All your activities, all your functions, you must align with these corporate goals. Otherwise, you cannot exist. And you must communicate and allocate resources to staff, assigning and monitoring the targets. You must assign the targets. And you must monitor those things through KPIs. KPIs mean the key performance indicators. Key performance indicators, those are the KPIs. And you must ensure that processes are well established. The most engineers today, they fail. They have not established the processes. Because in here, total engineering is a amalgamation of many processes. Integration of the processes. So processes, one process is connected to another process. So you will have to ensure that the processes are well established and properly managed, and process efficiency and process outcome are measured through the KPI, and applying the business process reengineering whenever and wherever necessary. And allocation of financial and non-financial resources to the staff based on the volume of the activities. Okay. Right. Now, sorry. Now, legislative requirements. So, as an engineer, you must know about certain legislative requirements. It means that you must know about some basic laws and applicable laws to your profession. Basic and applicable laws which are connect or relevant to your profession. Now in Engineering Council Act and ICSL Act is, those acts are directly connected to your legislative, to your profession. Right? The Engineering Council Act 2017 established for the purpose of regulating the profession. Right? The Medical Council Act. Now, no medical practitioner shall engage with the practice without a proper registration of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. Similar to that, no engineering practitioner shall engage in the practice unless he's registered in the engineering council. Now, what are the categories of engineering practitioners? There are 6 categories. The highest category is chartered engineer. Associate engineer. Chartered engineer is the person who holds corporate membership of IS. Associate engineer is a person who holds associate membership of IS. Another category called the affiliate engineer is a person who holds affiliate membership of IS. Then comes the incorporated engineer. Incorporated engineer is a person who holds the membership of IISL as an incorporated engineer. Engineering diplomate is a person who holds who holds a diplomate membership in IISL. And engineering technician is a person who cannot get any membership, but those are NVQ based. They can directly registered in ESL with showing their ECSL showing their NVQ certificates. Now, other 3 acts, it is related with workplace. Safety and Factory Ordinance. You must read it. It is an ordinance. It has established the rules, regulations to be followed by any factory, workplace in respect of safety and health. That is a legal enactment. It's a law of a country. If you operate any machine shop, if you operate any engineering business or engineering operation, violating or not complying with safety and factory ordinance, you will be penalized by the courts. Another one, Industrial Dispute Act. This is related with the human resources. There are a lot of disputes in the industry. Between executives and non-executives, an employee and employee. Sometimes you are compelled to dismiss a person for a misconduct. Then there might be a dispute. So dispute, how to handle the dispute is defined in this particular act. Another one coming as the environmental regulations. You can go through with that depending on the industry where you're working. This is the end of my presentation. I hope you all understood. And unfortunately, today that is not your mistake, and these are not been properly communicated in that. But I spared this time, so I cannot wait. So therefore, I use the technology to record this one. You will get my presentation. It is an updated one. That is after correcting the mistakes. And next week, same time, I will conduct new emerging new technologies. That is also for your B paper. There will be a few questions on that. So without taking much time, I will wind up as only 5 participants I can see. But thank you very much for participating in it. Do you have any question you can ask? Do you have any question? No question? Mithila? Vikramasekara?
No, sir, I could join the end of the presentation actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. This will be that you will get the recording. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.